Good morning, boys and girls. We are on page 56, lesson 10 homework. Please make sure you are turning to the correct page. So today we are adding mixed numbers together and subtracting mixed numbers together. So you'll notice that there is a difference for adding and subtracting, but you'll also notice that you need a common denominator. So first things first, we have 2 and 1/2 plus 1 and 1/5. What I'm going to do is I'm going to split 2 and 1. I'm going to add those whole numbers together first, and then I'm going to add my fractions. So I have 2 plus 1, which is equal to 3. And then I'm adding 1/2, which is right here, and 1/5, which is right here. And notice that 1/2 and 1/5 have different denominators. So I need to make sure I change it to the correct common denominator. To figure that out, I'm looking for the multiples of 2 and 5 in the denominator to figure out what they can be. For 2, we have 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. For 5, I have 5 and 10. I notice that 10 is the common denominator, so I'm going to multiply to get 10 for my denominator. 2 times what is equal to 10? 2 times 5 is equal to 10. And what I do on the bottom, I must do on the top. On the other side, I'm multiplying times 2 because 5 times 2 is equal to 10. What I do on the bottom, times 10, I'm going to multiply at the top, times 10, or times 2, sorry. So now we have our whole number 3. I just brought it right down, and we're adding 5 tenths plus 2 tenths. We know that 5 plus 2 is equal to 7, and our denominator is equal to 10. And my whole number is a 3. So I have 3 and 7 tenths as my final answer. Now, for problem B, I have right here 2 and 1/2 plus 1 and 3/5. The first thing I did is I circled the whole numbers first. So I have 2 and 1, and I added those two whole numbers together. I know that 2 plus 1 is equal to 3, so I'm writing down 3. And then I have 1/2 plus 3/5. When I look at 1/2 plus 3/5, I notice that I can't add them together yet because I need to find the common denominator. So in order to find the common denominator, I'm going to make sure that I multiply my numbers to get the common denominator. So I'm looking for my multiples of 2 and 5 to see which one is the common multiple. I have 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, and for 5 I have 5, 10. So 10 is the common denominator. So I'm going to multiply to find out what it is. So 2 times what is equal to 10? 2 times 5 is equal to 10. Over here, 5 times what is equal to 10? 5 times 2 is equal to 10. So now I'm going to bring everything down. I have 3 plus 5 times 1 is equal to 5, and 5 times 2 is equal to 10. On this side, I have 3 times 2 is equal to 6, and 5 times 2 is equal to 10. So now I have 3 plus 5 tenths plus 6 tenths. So now I'm going to add everything together. So for the 3, I'm just going to bring it right over. And we have 5 plus 6. I know that 5 plus 6 is equal to 11. So I have 11 tenths. Now, we know that 10 tenths plus 1 tenth is equal to 11 tenths. And notice that the denominator or the numerator is higher. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to change this and simplify it. So 10 tenths is equal to 1. So now I have 1 and 1 tenths. 3 plus 1 is equal to 4. And I have 1 tenth as my leftover. So my final answer is equal to 4 and 1 tenth. Now, I'm going to move on to problem C. For problem C, I have 1 and 1/5 plus 3 and 1/3. I'm going to first add my whole numbers 1 and 3. 1 plus 3 is equal to 4. And then I have 1/5 plus 1/3. Now I'm looking at 5 and 3, and I know the common denominator for 5 and 3 is equal to 15. So I'm going to make sure I multiply to get 15. 5 times 3 is equal to 15, and 3 times 5 is equal to 15. So now I have my whole number 4 plus 3 times 1 is equal to 3. 3 times 5 is equal to 15. 1 times 5 is equal to 5, and 3 times 5 is 15. So now I have 5 plus 3, which is equal to 8, and my denominator is 15, and I bring my 4 right over. So my final answer is going to be 4 and 8/15. Now on this side, I have 3 2/3 plus 1 3/5. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add my whole numbers. I have 3 and 1. 3 plus 1 is equal to 4. And then I have 2/3 plus 3/5. 2/3 plus 3/5. And notice that when I was looking for my common multiple, I get 15. So I'm going to make sure I multiply 3 times 5 to get 15, top and bottom. On the other side, I'm multiplying times 3 to get 15. So now I have 4 plus 5 times 2 is equal to 10, and 5 times 3 is 15. 3 times 3 is 9, and 5 times 3 is 15. Now I can add my numbers together. I have 4 as my whole number, plus 10 plus 9 is equal to 19, and my denominator stays as 15. So I noticed that this number could be reduced because 19 is bigger than 15. My numerator is bigger than my denominator. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure that I fix that. So I have 4. So 19 can go into 15 one time, right? So I'm going to break this up so you guys can see it better actually. So I know that 15 15s plus 4 15s is how I can make 19 15s. So I'm going to change 15 15 into 1. So now I'm adding this 4 plus 1, which is equal to 5, and my leftover is going to be 4 15s. So that's my final answer, 5 and 4 15s. Moving this up. Now for problem E, I have 2 1/3 plus 4 4/7. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add my whole numbers together. I have 2 plus 4. 2 plus 4 is equal to 8. Okay, and then I'm going to add 1/3 plus 4/7. I need to find out what is my common denominator for 3 and for 7. So for 3, we have 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21. For 7, we have 7, 14, 21. So 21 is my common denominator. So what I'm going to do is I am going to multiply times 3 to get 21 in the denominator. On this side, I'm multiplying times 7. So now I'm just going to bring my 8 straight down. 7 times 1 is equal to 7. 7 times 3 is equal to 21. 4 times 3 is equal to 12. And 7 times 3 is equal to 21. So now I'm going to write my whole number, which is 8. And I'm adding 7 plus 12. 7 plus 12 is going to give me 19. And my denominator is going to stay as 21. Notice that the numerator isn't bigger than the denominator, so this will be my final answer. 8 and 19 21. For problem F, I have 3 5/7 plus 4 2/3. So the first thing I'm going to do is add my whole numbers. I have 3 plus 4. 3 plus 4 is equal to 7. And then I'm going to add my fractions. But look, my fractions, I can't add them together until I have the same common denominator. So I need to make sure I change it into my common denominator. So 7 times what is going to give me my common denominator of 21? 3. 7 times 3. And over here, 3 times what is going to give me 21? 3 times 7 is going to give me 21. So now I am going to multiply. 3 times 5 is equal to 15.